Pop quiz. Do you remember when there was a bald man on TV who exposed and exploited the really bad life decisions that people made? Well, today this nearly bald man is going to expose that man's really bad life decision. In this breaking story, Dr. Phil needs to call 911 after taking a big hit to his reputation and wallet after failing to exploit MAGA for media riches. If you're a student of pop culture, you know that Dr. Phil took a weird right turn after being Oprah's sidekick and then having his own show run its course. And then came Trump and MAGA, and ever the opportunist, Dr. Phil hitched his wagon to the Trump train, and he even took part in a nice apprehension. Have a look at this cringy stunt with Trump henchman Tom Homan as we build towards today's turn.
Yeah, and Chris, look, we've got two very high-risk apprehensions that are going down within minutes. I can tell you that these are bad actors that are doing things that are immediate, instant danger to anyone around them.
As you've seen today, we're not sweeping neighborhoods. This is a target enforcement operation.
You're Dr. Phil. You look like Dr. Phil.
Yeah? How do you know me?
No, I seen Dr. Phil, on TV.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is an example of sanctuary cities, right? We got an illegal alien. What's your name?
Seda.
Seda what? Do you have a first and last name?
Sam.
Seda Sam?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Where I was born or where I'm from?
Where are you born?
Thailand.
And never been deported?
Nope.
Huh. Let's take them in and process them, lock them up.
Got it, sir.
All right. Is it a transport vehicle?
Working on it. Okay.
And just one more clip before I share the meltdown of Dr. Phil's MAGA empire. This year's old video from Jimmy Kimmel shows you what a chameleon the charlatan is. Watch as he reads the room and tells Kimmel and the audience what they want to hear. What you'll hear him say is true, but it's in direct opposition to his worship of Trump that came later.
I think, wouldn't you agree he lacks diplomacy?
Yes, I would agree.
Would you agree that he has an impulse control problem?
Yes, I absolutely would agree with that.
Would you agree that he thinks people see things from only his point of view?
Well, I think he would like it that way, yeah. Sure.
And I think if you go look up certain personality disorders, you might see some of those things appear.
Sometime after Dr. Phil threw Trump under the bus in that clip, he tried to board the bus and ride it to riches. But according to a report today from Slate, he now finds himself firmly wedged under it and gasping for air. The headline reads, "Just what the doctor ordered. When Dr. Phil signed off on his talk show in 2023, he pivoted to MAGA media. It's not working so well for him." And here's a few highlights.
Dr. Phil McGraw has earned himself a star position in this game show host presidency. Since the start of President Donald Trump's second term, the ex-psychologist has stationed himself within the White House's content creation apparatus as both a first-hand witness to immigration and customs enforcement raids and as a sneering critic of the Americans protesting Israel's mass bombardment of the Gaza Strip. Unlike fellow Oprah-endorsed TV personality Mehmet Oz, McGraw doesn't have a cabinet position, but he's been an active, ever-present volunteer for the chief executive, attending RFK Jr.'s swearing in, brokering the partnership between ICE and New York City's mayor, leading the White House's new Religious Liberty Commission, appearing with the president after the devastating Texas flooding. It feels less like public service than a promotional gambit for McGraw, who's been spotlighting such events and government friends on Dr. Phil Primetime, which is broadcast on his self-helmed right-wing network, Merit TV. At least it was broadcast there until June, when McGraw's post-Dr. Phil venture, Merit Street Media, went on a summer hiatus and laid off dozens of staffers just before it was scheduled to air McGraw's on-the-ground dispatches of the Chicago ICE raids. The short-lived media enterprise was supposed to help transition McGraw from the traditional TV age to the new media economy. Instead, the little-viewed Merit Street Media is now locked in bankruptcy proceedings and in an expensive legal battle with its distributor, Trinity Broadcasting Network, as McGraw attempts to launch yet another media startup, Envoy. 2025 could have been Dr. Phil's best and most lucrative year, the one where he finally transcended the talk show doldrums through a dynamic, self-controlled network, catapulting off the MAGA cultural shift. How did it all crash so hard so soon? The lesson that Phil McGraw should learn from this saga is that a rush to embrace the growing right-wing media trends can't work for everyone, even someone as famous as he. Since his 90s era start on Oprah's show, McGraw's key appeal to America lay in his mastery of a particular kind of TV that embraced the intensely personal over the intensely political. No matter how problematic Dr. Phil's encounters and advice may have been, he had a well-honed sense for drawing out the drama of the human condition, inviting Americans to both gawk at and listen to people they may not have heard from otherwise. The fundamentals of MAGA culture, doctrinaire in nature, and inflexible when it comes to Trumpist loyalty, are of a much different nature than the sideshows that kept some suburban stay-at-home moms hooked to their TVs.
Those are just the highlights. For the full story by Nitish Pahwa, visit Slate.com. The article also mentioned that according to The Hollywood Reporter, the audience metrics were dismal for Merit Media. The weekly viewer numbers were down to a measly 17,000, which now makes this made-for-TV dramatic comment a bit comical.
And if they happen to be watching this, or somebody they know is watching this, could pick up the phone and call them and put agents' lives in more danger than they already are.
Dr. Phil was desperate to be a Trump insider and MAGA's culture war sage. Instead, he's now a cautionary tale of what happens when clout chasing that is off-brand goes terribly wrong. He sold his soul for a ticket on the Trump train, but now his career arc goes from Oprah's couch to Trump's trash heap. But he's not alone. He can join celebrities like Roseanne, Kid Rock, and Scott Baio on another couch where they can commiserate about their collective challenge to remain relevant.